Welcome back, everyone. Today's story took place between 2007 and 2008. It took place in Hodeidah Al Hodeidah Garnet of Yemen. That means it took place in Yemen. And there was here a man who was 22 years old, and his father died. He expired. Now, Adnan had three older sisters and a younger brother. So they were altogether five children. His father was a very simple man. He didn't own much or didn't leave much, I would say, before he died. That means Adnan had to look for a job. Adnan here sold whatever she had, including gold, her gold and her daughter's gold, just to buy a motorbike. And the reason was that the motorbike would help Adnan to find a job. Especially, I would say in villages, having a motorbike is a big deal and can be a part of a job because the roads are so rugged to travel through one village to the other. And it is easier, I would say, compared to a car. The fare also is far more less compared to the car. So the goal here, Adnan's goal was to support his mother and siblings. He took all the responsibility. The mother here, when he used to earn the money from the motorbike by picking people and dropping them, not only spent the money on the house and the expenses which were important, she also kept money aside in case if something happens to the bike, repairing or other issues, the money would be there. Now, Adnan, as I said, he was very responsible to the extent that nothing mattered more than his family. He wouldn't spend a penny on himself, a rial, I would say. So Adnan did get busy with delivering goods to other houses if needed. Means people used to literally give him the money to bring supplies from other areas and deliver to their houses. So he was not only taking people from one picking and dropping, that is one area to the other, he also got, say, involved in delivering supplies. One of his friends was about to get married in the Garnet of Rayma, and here his friend asked him for help. It was actually a part of his job. He said, "Why don't you help me with delivering things I would be needing for my wedding and for prepping my house?" So he did go and bought things like utensils, food, clothing, whatever was asked. He was very young and quick in dealing with these. That was what was required. Now, the day of the wedding itself, he said his mother that he would be leaving at dawn, that is after the prayer of Fajr, and would be coming late because he's not only going to help his friend with the wedding, he's also going to attend his friend's wedding. So he will be late. Maybe it will be late night or the other day. So it was just in case she doesn't get worried that why her son was not back home. Now she said that may God protect you and be careful, and that's the best thing. When you leave and you have your mother on your side and you're going for a long distance or traveling or even going out just for, somewhere, I would say, the blessings mean a lot to a person. Whatever is written by God Almighty, but whatever happens is also decided by Him. But I'm talking normally about mothers and their praise and their blessings. So, getting back to the story, after he left his own area of Hodeidah, he left for Rima, as I said before. So he was on his motorbike carrying stuff, which were other supplies he had to deliver to his friend. Now he was on the side of the area, almost about to enter Rima, when he saw three people passing by. Now, as I said, he left early morning, or I would say at the time of Fajr prayer. So he was like, there are three friends hanging out maybe, and one of them was the son of a famous, I would say, merchant, or as we can see, a businessman. And the second was the son of a senior official, and the third was their friend, and he was also maybe from some rich family. Now he saw them and they were carrying a cardboard box, but he didn't notice that. He was just, like, oh, he knows these people. So he just waved his hand, like saying salam or something. And he went to the place where the wedding had to take place, and he delivered the things and also had a nice time in his friend's wedding. Here the three men were thinking, or started thinking. One of them said that, did you see this person staring at us? He was staring at us. Then he said, maybe you're hallucinating or something. He said he was, because we are carrying this box, and you will see, or this cardboard box that is, and you will see that tomorrow he'll go to the area where he came from, Hodeidah, and he will be saying everyone that he saw us carrying this box and expose us. How would he know what was inside the cardboard box anyways? Because they were guilty of doing something. They felt that this man is going to expose them, so they had to fix this too. Now, these three, for some odd reason, were panicking. They were in absolute fear and panic. And they decided to get rid of Adnan. Here, they started asking that who is the owner of the motorbike. And when they kept on asking, they found Adnan's uncle's son. And they asked him that, where can we find Adnan? He said, why? Why do you need him? Said, of course, we need him for a special delivery and it's an emergency. So can you help us? He said, I don't think you can find him today because he has gone for a wedding to some other area. So you have to wait. Maybe he'll arrive today. I mean, late night, or maybe tomorrow. But they said, okay, we will wait for him, and thank you for helping. They said, you're most welcome. Here they left, and they were now at, I would say, an area, at an entrance, the only entrance, I would say, the main entrance from the area of Ramah to the area of Hodeidah. Al-Hodeidah, that is. So they were waiting and they kept watch, their eyes on the area of people entering the area of Al-Hodeidah. And especially, of course, entering with the motorbike, because he owned the motorbike. He was the owner. It was late. It was very late during the night. And here they found Adnan entering, or he was about to enter the area. So they just went all of a sudden. Two of them, I would say, not, there were three of them, but he left. And I'll tell you why. So two of them here went to Adnan and said that, hello, we need help. And he said, hi, how can I help you? They said, we have an emergency and we want you to take us somewhere. He said, I'm so extremely sorry. Adnan said that, I'm very sorry. I'm very tired to the extreme and I have to get back to my house, to my mother and siblings. So they said, no, please, it's an emergency. Try to understand. And we need help. We'll pay you twice the money, whatever. And Adnan, he was tired, but he said, okay, I'll do it for you. I'll help you. And they said, okay, both of them, they rode with Adnan, and they started guiding him where they wanted to go. Now, there was an area where there was a slaughterhouse. And as soon as they reached the slaughterhouse, and Adnan was a bit confused, but he said, okay, they want to go here, so I have agreed to do so I have to take them. And here they said that, get down. And he was confused. He saw the third person arriving from the slaughterhouse. And he knew that this person was the son of a senior official. They forced him to get down. And they also took his motorbike in the slaughterhouse, him and his motorbike. They got hold onto Adnan and took him inside, as I said before. And here he said that, why are you hitting me or beating me? What did I do? Did I commit something? Did I do a mistake? Please explain me. He was pleading that, please let me go, because he didn't really know what was happening. Here they said that, don't act as if you don't know. You saw us carrying a box and you know what's inside the cardboard box. He said, I swear I don't know what's inside the cardboard box. I just waved at you guys and I left. And you know that. They said, no, You do know what's inside the cardboard box, and you're going to expose us what was happening here because they had committed something wrong. It was in their brains. It was just in the brain that this person or anyone passing by knows what we have done. He was, as I said, he was pleading, and they said, maybe we can leave you, but in one condition. Now, in order to ensure that he would not expose or speak about this to anyone, they said that we would assault you and take a video. And if you speak or say a word, we will post this video to everyone in the village, outside the village. What Adnan had to do now was to choose between honor and death. And Adnan chose his death. He started to hit them and tried to escape because they were strangling him, but he couldn't because these men were all prepared. Adnan tried his best to resist and fight back these men. At the very end, we would go back and think about what was inside the box. Let me remind you that when these men were carrying the cardboard box, they threw it into the garbage container. It was almost near or close to the Fajr prayer. So when there were people in the mosque is the place where people perform the prayer. So when the men started leaving the mosque, all of a sudden they heard a baby crying. And here the men were searching from where the sound was coming. And when they got closer to the garbage container, they found a cardboard box, and inside there was a baby which was covered with blood. That means it was a newborn baby in the garbage. Here they picked the baby up, and one of the men said that I'm taking him home, and if someone comes asking for this baby, just tell them that he's in my house, and if no one comes, I'm ready to adopt this boy, and he would be my son. And that's it. But, of course, after what had happened, everyone seemed to gossip about this, that whose son would that be? Who would throw his child? Who's the mother? And that was a reason of worry for these three men. Let's get back to how Adnan was killed. Adnan here was stabbed 27 times, and they took his body and threw it in the sewers. Sewers were filled with blood already. The blood of it was a slaughterhouse, means of course there was blood of sheep and cattle, and it was filled. Of course, the sewers were filled, so no one could have noticed that. And they threw the body and they covered it with the iron covering of the manhole. The other day, the head of the workers went to the slaughterhouse, and he was checking as usual if there was any dirt or wool or blood stains all over the place, because he was responsible and he liked his place to be very clean. Here he was shocked to see traces of blood all over the floor. That could be a normal thing because it is a slaughterhouse. But the problem was the place he saw the blood was not the place they were supposed to slaughter sheep or cattle. It was the place to slaughter was near the manhole so that the blood could easily enter. But this place was a bit more farther. So here he thought, and he was a man of experience, so he thought that the blood was unusual or the blood clots were different. He knew the blood of sheep or cattle or whatever had been slaughtered there. So he was a bit unsure of what he was seeing. So he started actually following where it led to, where the blood was leading to. Okay, and it was going or leading to the manhole, but he had to open, and when he opened, because he was curious, I would say, and when he opened the manhole, he found the body of Adnan. He informed immediately to the police. Here the police came and they took the body away. Adnan's mother was waiting for 2 days waiting for her son, and the problem was that even she got everyone involved, her Adnan's uncle's children and any other people she knew, and they were searching for him. Here, they also called Adnan's friend where he was supposed to go for the wedding, and he said that he had no idea whatsoever. He said that he asked Adnan to leave early in the morning and stay during the night at least, but he rejected and he said that my family members are waiting for me, so I cannot stay. They also said that we were calling on his mobile and it was ringing for a while, but all of a sudden it got disconnected. They also said that maybe he's working for long hours, so he will come back late, but it never happened before, and he is very used to informing his family members every now and then if he would be late. His friend here said that please do keep in touch if there is anything new. They were searching and they did inform the police. And the police here said that they had found the body. And the mother went and she saw the body. It was devastating, of course. Now the question was that who killed him and what was the reason? So here are the details. On Tuesday, the three men killed Adnan. And when they threw the body into the manhole, they also threw his mobile after, of course, disconnecting it. Now, what happened to the motorbike? Motorbike was something huge. They cannot hide it that easily. They cannot just throw it somewhere. So they took the motorbike immediately to their fourth friend he had a huge house. So they said that, can you hide this motorbike for a while? And he said, why? They said, no, we just want you to hide. Can you hide or you can ask someone else to do it? But he was a friend and he said, okay, fine, I will hide the motorbike. I have no problem whatsoever. And he didn't question much because he thought it would be a simple reason or whatever. So this was one of the clues, and this was something the police was depending on in finding, that if we found the body and there were no witnesses whatsoever, so they had to just find the motorbike to get to the criminals. There was a man who used to do the same job or had the same job as Adnan's, means he also had a motorbike and he used to deliver people. He went to the police and said that I have something to say. Maybe it would be of some help. I saw three men on a motorbike taking it to somewhere, a lane, I would say. It's called lane of an Indian lane or something. So they said, oh, that would be of help because there are not lots of houses in that lane and we can easily search. So they did go to one of the officials and they said that please give us a search warrant so that we can search house by house. And here the person also said that the three people were actually, one of them was the son of a senior official and one of them was the son of a businessman. Here the policeman said that before we could just jump and start interrogating these people and get into more trouble if they are not the people who have committed the crime, we would rather go and search the houses. If we find a motorbike, we can easily go and question them. So that wouldn't be an issue. Now, the fourth friend here who had kept the motorbike with him, he had no idea, but because it was a very small area, he got the news that the police is searching each and every house. Here he immediately gave his friends the call and said that you guys are the one who had murdered Adnan, aren't you? They said, what do you want? They said, you're going to put me in trouble, so you better come and take your motorbike away. They said, here's the deal. If you inform the police, then we'll say that you were with us or you were a part of this whole plan. And if you hide it, we'll pay you 100,000 riyals, which at that time was a lot. So the man was in need, and at the same time he said, I don't want to get into trouble. He asked his wife to immediately leave, and she said what was the reason. He said, I'm inviting some of my friends, so you go to the house of your family members. And here he started digging on the area where he had parked the motorbike. He started digging and he dug a hole. He threw the motorbike in and hid it. The next day, the officials were all around the village and they were searching. So they entered his house, his property, and they found nothing. He was done with what he promised to do. And the next day, even the trials of the motorbike had disappeared, so there was no motorbike and there was no evidence. Again, the police here was they had to call these men and for interrogation, and they did so. They started asking that, do you know Adnan? They said, no, we don't know who Adnan is. And where were you on a Tuesday night? They said that we were at our friend's house, the person who lives on Indian Lane. And this was the fourth person. They called this person too. The thing here was because they had decided to say everything word by word to be similar, that they were there to have dinner at the fourth friend's house. All along, the statements were identical. Even when the fourth person arrived and they started inquiring and interrogating, he said the same words. He said, yes, they were at home and I had invited them for dinner. And he was also like, why would you ask? Why are you asking? And they said, we are searching for a motorbike. One of the friends here said that I do own a motorbike, but it belongs to me. The case was closed. The case became something which was against someone unknown. Adnan, his mother, was in grief and in pain because he was a very responsible person. After his father's death, he took the complete responsibility of his sisters and his younger brother. He became a brother, a father, a son. He took the complete responsibility as a very young man, which hardly people do take. After the case was closed or they couldn't find who committed this crime, I would say after 2 months, the fourth person here, their friend, I would name him as Qasid, was enjoying his life with the money he had or was given by his friends to actually keep his mouth shut. He was enjoying his life to the fullest. He was I would say, health-wise, he was perfect. But all of a sudden, believe it or not, he had a kidney failure. When he got a kidney failure, he went to doctors immediately. They said, you are at a very dangerous level. And what was required right now was kidney dialysis. He was shocked. He knew that he had to go through this procedure. So he started spending his money or whatever he owned into the process of kidney dialysis. For 9 months or maybe a year now, he was spending whatever he had and he was out of money. He owned nothing whatsoever. So he started going to his neighbors, people he knew, and started asking for help. People really felt pity for him and they did help him, but everyone has a limit. So he couldn't get any other help anymore. He went to his house and all of a sudden he had an idea. He said, why don't I just dig the hole and sell the motorbike? But he cannot just take the motorbike as a whole and sell it. So what he did, he dug the hole. He started, I would say, taking out pieces of the motorbike, the seat, the lights or whatever, went and started selling piece by piece. Of course, after selling this, he could finish the process of kidney dialysis, but he was again, the only part left was the machine itself. So he couldn't sell the machine, but he had to because there was no other way. When he brought the machine apart or the whole motorbike, all the pieces apart, and the machine was the only thing left, the machine has a specific number which could tell you who the owner is. There is a specific number on machine. The man here, his health got worse. The dialysis had to be done once a week, but because for some odd reason it got worse and he had to do it more than 1 week, so he had to sell the machine. Now when Qasid used to go and sell the pieces to the, I would say, the steering or the wheels or the tires or whatever he could go and sell to the shop, he used to go to the same person again and again. Now this person here thought that why would he get the old rusty pieces? He used to actually feel bad for him. But he thought that why would he bring pieces of a motorbike instead of bringing a complete bike, and he would pay him a better price. Here he got an idea. He thought that wouldn't this be the motorbike which the police was searching for before a time period? Because when the motorbike was missing, the police went to the shops of course, the where they repair the garages and all, and they said that if someone comes with spare parts or with a whole motorbike and you think he's a suspect, you have to inform us. That was a long time ago. I mean, I would say more than a year now. He said he suspected that this person here who's selling him piece by piece or the spare parts would be the person who's involved in the death of Adnan. May God have mercy upon him. Now this man here, he said that if I suspect this man, I can make sure by just looking at the machine number again. But the machine number was given in the report, the police report, which was given on the report number. So he went immediately to his fellow, I would say the people working in the shop, the other shops, and said that if someone has any idea where the port could be, because port includes the machine number. And he did find the machine number, and it did match the machine which was in his shop. He took all the parts of the motorbike and went to the family members or the cousins of Adnan. He said, here you go. These are the parts which belong to one motorbike, and that is the motorbike of your son or your of Adnan himself. So here they went and reported to the police. And after almost a year and a half, they arrested Qasid because he was the suspect. Well, when they arrested the fourth person here, or Qasid, I will say, he said and he confessed that this was all a hoax. And he didn't know what he was getting himself into. The first time they got the motorbike, it was just to hide. And later he knew that what they were up to. Now they asked who were these people, and he informed them that these were the three men. Two of them were the sons of a businessman and a senior official. Now, they did arrest these three men, but upon arresting them, they did confess that they have done whatever they did. They have murdered Adnan. But here, the mother of Adnan was in great confusion because the family members of two men, especially the two men who were, again, the son of a businessman and a senior official, they were putting humongous pressure on this woman to actually just refuse, or just, what do we say, that she has to forgive the killers of her son. If she forgives, they would not be sentenced, or they would not be given the death sentence. They are supposed to. But here the woman said that the way you have taken my son, your sons should also be taken. That would be fair enough to actually bring peace to me and my family. But again, there was huge pressure, and they were given the death sentence by shooting, but it was delayed for some odd reason. Here the mother was waiting, and she knew that this is not going to happen because the seniors, or I would say these men, are controlling the area, the policemen or the government for the time being. So she left for Sana'a, which is the capital of Yemen. Here she said that she wants to meet the president, Ali Abdullah Saleh. She actually went by herself to the doors of Ali Abdullah Saleh, and here he said, let her enter. He was generous and kind enough to hear what she had to say. And she said that my son was killed. And for a long time period, or for a year or something, they were searching for a killer. They didn't know. The case was closed and opened again. And the three men confessed that they had killed my son. They are supposed to be sentenced to death. But there is a delay because of some reason or the other, and I'm in pressure and my family is in pressure. Of course, in these places or these reasons, they are also, I would say, they threaten the people to actually forgive on what she was thinking. And she went and she informed Ali Abdullah Saleh. He was very cooperative and he said that what you will happen and you have nothing to worry about. Now, when they confessed, these three men, one of the men said that the boy or the baby in the cardboard box was belonged to him. He had a relationship with a woman, and she got pregnant and got this baby, and he had to get rid of the child. After the president of Yemen got involved, these three men were straight away sent to death sentence. And the fourth person here, Qasid, I would say, was sentenced to 2 years of imprisonment. But before he could be sent to the prison, he died. When he passed away, and he was, of course, for 1 week or so after they had buried his body in the cemetery, they could hear some kind of sound, someone in clear pain. Believe it or not, this can happen. People used to keep their windows open because it was winter, and I would say the climate or the weather was good enough so that they could sleep. So when they used to wake up, they used to say, "Did you hear the same noise or the same whining which is coming from the cemetery, from one of the graves?" And they all agreed upon that. So they were living in horror for 1 week. They called the sheikh somehow, and he did solve the problem, and he did knew that someone who had been dug into one of the graves is in real pain. Now, what happened to the baby or to the boy who was found in the cardboard box? The boy who was found in the cardboard box was actually living and was raised in a very good family, and he was lucky enough to have them. As for the mother of the boy who was found in the cardboard box was not known till this day. That's it for today, and thank you for listening.